Look around you, really look. Pick a room, any room, an office, a family dinner, a social gathering. There are 10 people in that room. 9 of them are sleepwalking. They are reacting, they are waiting for permission. They are desperate to be liked, terrified of silence and enslaved by their own emotions. They think they are making choices, but they are not. They are following a script written by their biology, their parents, and society. They are the pieces on the board. But there is one person, just one, who is not playing the game. He is watching it. He sees the strings. He hears what isn't being said. He knows exactly what you want before you even open your mouth. He doesn't seek validation. He seeks leverage. He doesn't react to the chaos. He uses it. This person is the player. And the terrifying truth is this: unless you actively learn to think like him, you will always be his pawn. Most people go through their entire lives wondering why they work so hard but never get ahead, why the loud, the incompetent, or the ruthless seem to win while the good people are left behind to clean up the mess. They tell themselves it's bad luck. They tell themselves the system is broken. They are lying to themselves to avoid the cold reality. The reality is that you have been taught to be harmless. You have been trained to be a victim. Niccolò Machiavelli, a man whose name has become synonymous with evil, was actually the most honest philosopher in history. He didn't write about how the world should be. He wrote about how the world is. He understood a fundamental law that 90% of people ignore at their own peril. If you try to be good in a world that is not good, you will be destroyed. This video is not about becoming a villain. It is not about hurting people. It is about waking up. It is about stepping out of the 90% who feel and into the 10% who think. I'm going to hand you the keys to the kingdom of your own mind. We are going to strip away the illusions of fairness, kindness, and vulnerability that you use as a shield, because that shield is made of paper. By the end of this, you will not see the world the same way. You will walk into a room and you won't just see people anymore. You will see patterns. You will see leverage. You will see the game. And for the first time in your life, you will be the one holding the dice. But be warned, once you see the strings, you can never unsee them. Let's begin. The first mistake you make, the mistake that costs you money, respect, and peace of mind, is that you are hunanating. You are living in a dream. You enter a negotiation, a relationship, or a conflict, and you operate based on how you think people should act. You think, if I am honest, they will be honest. If I work hard, they will notice. If I sacrifice for them, they will be loyal to me. This is the idealist's trap, and it is fatal. Machiavelli wrote, "A man who wishes to make a profession of goodness in everything must necessarily come to grief among so many who are not good." Read that again. He isn't saying you shouldn't be good. He is saying that if you rely on your goodness to protect you, you are walking into a lion's den wearing a stake for a vest. The 90% project their own values onto others. If you have a good heart, you assume everyone else has a good heart. You assume that if you explain your feelings, the other person will care. You assume that justice is a natural law of the universe. It is not. Justice is a human invention. Power is a natural law. To outsmart 90% of people, you must stop wishing reality was different. You must look at it naked. When someone betrays you, do not waste time asking how could they do this. That is an emotional question. It is useless. Instead, ask the Machiavellian question, what did they gain? Because people always act in their own self-interest. Even when they are being altruistic, they are doing it for the dopamine hit of feeling righteous. When you understand this, you stop getting hurt. You stop being shocked. You start predicting. The majority of people are shocked when their boss fires them to save a nickel. They are shocked when a lover leaves them for someone with more status. They are shocked when a friend gossips about them to gain social leverage. The Machiavellian is never shocked. He expected it. He knows that human nature is fickle, greedy, and driven by fear. This sounds cynical, I know it feels cold, but ask yourself, who is safer, the man who believes the ocean loves him, or the man who respects the ocean's power to drown him? The second man builds a boat, the first man drowns while praying. You need to build a boat. This is the shift. Stop listening to what people say. Words are cheap. Words are designed to manipulate, to smooth over, to deceive. Watch what they do. If their words say, I love you, but their actions say, I don't respect you, believe the actions. If their words say, we are a family here at this company, but their actions say, you are disposable, believe the actions. The moment you strip away your moral expectation of how the world should treat you, you become invisible to their manipulation. You become a realist. And in a room full of dreamers, the realist is king. You must kill the part of you that needs the world to be fair. It is a child's need. It is a weakness. Accept the chaos. Accept the greed. Accept the treachery. Once you accept it, you can navigate it. You can prepare for it. You can outmaneuver it. You cease to be a victim of circumstance and become a master of the terrain. We live in the age of noise. Everyone is screaming. Look at social media. Look at the comment sections. Look at your friends at a bar. Everyone is desperate to tell you who they are, what they think, what they plan to do. They are vomiting information. They think that by talking they are asserting dominance. They think that by explaining themselves they are gaining understanding. They are wrong. Every word you speak is a leak. Every time you explain yourself, you are handing ammunition to your enemy. Machiavelli knew that the most powerful person in the room is usually the quietest. Why? Because information is power. And when you are talking, you are giving away power. When you are listening, you are acquiring it. The 90% are uncomfortable with silence. Test this. The next time you are in a conversation and someone finishes a sentence, do not respond immediately. Wait. Look at them. Keep eye contact. Count to 4 in your head. Watch what happens. They will panic. Their brain will interpret the silence as judgment or a loss of connection. And to fill that void, they will start talking again. And this time, they will tell you the truth. They will add a detail they didn't mean to share. They will justify a lie. They will reveal an insecurity. Silence is a vacuum. Human beings are terrified of vacuums. They will throw anything into that void just to fill it, even their own secrets. The Machiavellian thinker uses silence as a weapon. He doesn't feel the need to fill the air. He is comfortable in the tension. When you are attacked, when someone insults you or questions you, your instinct, the instinct of the 90% is to defend, to argue, to prove them wrong. I didn't mean that. You don't understand. Stop. When you defend yourself, you validate the attack. You show that their opinion has value to you. You show that they have the power to disturb your emotional state. Instead, use the void. Look at them, say nothing, or ask a simple, calm question. Why would you say that? And then wait. Watch them crumble. Watch them backpedal. By refusing to engage on their level, you place yourself above them. You become the judge, and they become the defendant. You must learn to starve people of your reaction. Most people are addicted to reactions. They poke you to see if you will bleed. If you bleed, they know where to cut next. If you are stone, if you are the void, they become terrified. They cannot map your psyche. They cannot predict your next move. And what they cannot predict, they respect. This applies to your goals as well. Move in silence is a cliché, but it is a cliché because it is true. The moment you tell someone your plan, you have created an obstacle. If you tell a friend you are starting a business, they will project their own fears onto you. Is that safe? What if you fail? Now you are carrying their doubt along with your own. If you tell an enemy your plan, they will sabotage it. If you tell the world your plan, you get a hit of dopamine. You feel like you've already achieved it just by saying it. And that satisfaction kills your hunger to actually do the work. Keep your intentions dark. Let people think you are average. Let them think you are lazy. Let them think you are stupid. It is better to be underestimated than targeted. Machiavelli advised the prince to be a great pretender to hide his true nature. Be a fog. When you are a fog, they cannot aim at you. They swing at the air, exhaust themselves, and that is when you strike. Practice this for 1 week. Cut your words by 50%. Stop explaining why you were late. I was delayed. That's it. Stop explaining why you don't want to go out. I can't make it. That's it. Stop arguing your political opinion. Just listen to theirs. You will feel a surge of power you have never felt before. You are conserving your energy while they deplete theirs. You are becoming the architect. Now, a warning. If you become too cold, too silent, too detached, you become a target in a different way. People fear the silent man. And if they fear you too much, they will try to destroy you preemptively. To outsmart the 90%, you must blend in. You must wear a mask, but not the mask you think. Most people wear a mask to hide their flaws. They pretend to be perfect. They pretend to be rich. They pretend to be happy. This is amateur hour. This breeds envy. The Machiavellian wears a mask of humanity. He uses strategic vulnerability. This is a concept that will feel counterintuitive. So listen closely. If you are too competent, too perfect, too stoic, people will hate you. You trigger their insecurity. You remind them of their own mediocrity. To disarm them, you must occasionally show a flaw. But you choose the flaw. Admit to a small mistake. Confess a minor worry. Ask for advice on something you already know the answer to. Why? Because when you ask someone for advice, you make them feel wise. You make them feel superior. And when someone feels superior to you, they let their guard down. They stop seeing you as a threat and start seeing you as a protege or a friend. You are feeding their ego to buy their trust. This is the art of the courtier. Castiglione, a contemporary of Machiavelli, wrote about sprezzatura, the art of making the difficult look easy. But Machiavelli adds a darker layer, the art of making the calculated look natural. The 90% think that being yourself is a virtue. I just have to be me. They say this is lazy. Being yourself is fine when you are alone, but when you are in the world, you're a character on a stage. If you are angry, but the situation requires charm and you choose to be yourself and scream, you have lost. You have let your emotion override your outcome. The 10% do not be themselves. They curate themselves. They ask, what version of me is required to win this situation? Does this situation require the lion, the aggressive, dominant force? Or does it require the fox, the cunning, agreeable, slippery diplomat? Most people only have one mode. They are always the lion, aggressive, rude, or always the fox, sneaky, passive. The master shifts between them effortlessly. This feels fake to you. I can hear you thinking it. This sounds like psychopathy. It isn't. It is emotional maturity. A parent does not be themselves when their child is crying. The parent might be exhausted, angry, or terrified, but they put on the mask of the calm protector. They act the part because the outcome, the child's safety, is more important than their authentic feeling in that moment. Apply that to everything. Your boss is yelling at you. Your authentic self wants to yell back. Your strategic self knows that will get you fired. So you put on the mask of the professional. You nod. You take notes. You survive. Then you plan your exit or your ascent. The mask protects you. It creates a barrier between your true soul and the filthy game of the world. If you show the world your true heart, they will break it. If you show them a mask, they can only scratch the paint. Keep your truth for the very few, the people who have earned it, the people who would bleed for you. For everyone else, give them the performance they need to see so you can get what you need to get. This is not deceit. This is camouflage. And in a jungle, camouflage is not a lie. It is survival. Now we move to the uncomfortable part, the part your parents warned you against. Most people spend their entire lives trying to be liked. They think that if they have 0 enemies, they have won the game of life. They are wrong. If you have no enemies, it means you have no character. It means you have stood for nothing. It means you are a leaf blowing in the wind, agreeing with everyone, challenging no one. Machiavelli knew that enemies are not just inevitable, they are necessary. The 90% crumble under criticism. A negative comment ruins their week. Arrival at work makes them anxious. They try to appease the enemy. They try to make peace. The outlier uses the enemy. Think about it. Who tells you the truth? Your friends? No. Your friends lie to you. They tell you you look good when you look tired. They tell you your bad idea has potential because they don't want to hurt your feelings. They enable your weakness because they love you. But your enemy searches for your weakness like a starving dog. If you have a crack in your armor, your enemy will find it. If you are lazy, they will exploit it. If you are insecure, they will trigger it. Your enemy is your greatest auditor. Instead of getting angry at the hate, study it. Why did they attack there? Is it because you are actually weak there? If so, thank them. They just showed you what you need to fix. Are they attacking you because you are winning? If so, thank them. They are confirming your status. The lion does not lose sleep over the opinion of sheep, but the lion does watch the hyenas, not out of fear, but out of strategy. You must develop anti-fragility. This is a concept from Nassim Taleb, but it is pure Machiavelli. Fragile things break under pressure. Robust things stay the same under pressure. Anti-fragile things get stronger under pressure. The 90% are fragile. You insult them, they break. You must be anti-fragile. When someone doubts you, you use that spite as fuel. There is no cleaner burning fuel in the universe than the desire to prove someone wrong. Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech wasn't about love. It was a list of every single person who ever doubted him. He held on to that list for 30 years. He used it. Do not fear conflict. Conflict is the forge. If you find yourself in a room where everyone agrees with you, you are in the wrong room. You are stagnating. Go where the knives are out. That is where you get sharp. Here is the greatest addiction of the modern age. It isn't drugs, it isn't porn, it isn't sugar. It is the now. We live in a culture of immediacy, same-day delivery, high-speed internet, swiping left, 15-second videos. The 90% have lost the ability to perceive time. They cannot see past next week. If they work out for 3 days and don't see abs, they quit. If they start a business and don't make $1 million in month 1, they quit. If they send a text and don't get a reply in 5 minutes, they spiral into anxiety. They are trapped in the prison of the present moment. Machiavelli plays the long game. He understands that real power is compound interest. To outsmart the 90%, you simply have to extend your time horizon, while they are scrambling. For the quick buck, you are building the foundation. While they are reacting to the daily news cycle, you are studying history. This requires a specific kind of suffering, the suffering of patience. Patience is not passive. Patience is active warfare against your own impulses. It is sitting on your hands when you want to grab. It is holding your tongue when you want to scream. It is working in the dark for 5 years so you can shine for 50. There is a concept called the marshmallow test. Children were offered 1 marshmallow now or 2 if they could wait 15 minutes. The kids who couldn't wait grew up to be disorganized, prone to stress, and unsuccessful. The kids who waited, they ruled the world. You are in a marshmallow test every single day. The 90% eat the marshmallow immediately. They take the easy job. They buy the car they can't afford to look rich. They cheat on their partner for a night of pleasure. They mortgage their future to pay for their present. The Machiavellian does the opposite. He pays for his future with the currency of the present. He looks at a decision and asks, will this matter in 10 years? If the answer is no, he ignores it. If the answer is yes, he obsesses over it. Become a time traveler. When you feel the urge to react, to quit, to indulge, project yourself 5 years forward. Look back at this moment. Will you be glad you gave in? Or will you be proud you stood firm? The ability to delay gratification is the single most accurate predictor of success. It is the ultimate superpower because almost no one has it anymore. Be the person who plants a tree knowing they will never sit in its shade, but knowing their children will own the forest. That is how you build a legacy. The others are just building debt. We are taught that selfishness is a sin. We are taught to give until it hurts to be a martyr. The nice guy. Machiavelli spits on this idea. He argues that you cannot help anyone if you are weak. Look at the nice guys. Look at the people who always say, yes. Are they happy? Are they respected? No. They are exhausted. They are resentful. They are used like doormats. And secretly they hate the people they are helping. They give with strings attached. They give because they want praise. They want to be seen as good. This is not kindness, it is cowardice. To outsmart the 90%, you must adopt rational self-interest. This means you secure your own mask first. You prioritize your health, your mind, your finances, your mission. You say no without guilt. No is a complete sentence. When you say yes to something you don't want to do, you are saying no to yourself. You are betraying your own time, which is the only resource you can never get back. The 90% are terrified of being called selfish. Let them call you selfish, because here is the paradox. Only the person who is full can truly give. When you have built your power, your wealth, and your stability, you can change lives. You can help people from a place of abundance, not a place of obligation. A beggar cannot give money to the poor. A weak man cannot protect the innocent. You must become strong first. This requires a ruthless period, a season of isolation, a season where you cut off the leeches. You will lose friends, you will upset family members who are used to using you. Good. You are pruning the dead branches so the tree can grow. Machiavelli wrote that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Why? Because love is fickle. People love you as long as you are useful to them. But respect, fear, that sticks. Do not seek to be loved by everyone. Seek to be respected. And respect is earned by having boundaries, by valuing your own existence enough to defend it. Stop setting yourself on fire to keep other people warm. You are not a candle, you are a sun. You burn for yourself, and your gravity holds everything else together. We arrive at the final lesson, the one that binds them all, the ultimate difference between the player and the pawn. It is not money, it is not connections. It is not IQ, it is emotional alchemy. The 90% are slaves to their chemistry. Something bad happens. They feel sad, they give up. Something annoying happens. They feel angry, they lash out. They are biological robots. Input equals output. The Machiavellian breaks the circuit. He understands that emotions are just energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred. Pain is energy, high-octane energy. Anger is energy. It is nuclear. The average person wastes this energy. They cry, they complain, they vent to their friends. They drink alcohol to numb it. They let the energy leak out of them until they are empty again. The outlier captures that energy. He builds a citadel in his mind. When he feels disrespected, he doesn't yell. He takes that red-hot ball of anger and he puts it into the engine of his work. He works harder. He becomes sharper. I will show them is the most powerful motivator in human history. When he feels heartbreak, he doesn't wallow. He takes that crushing sadness and transmutes it into art, into philosophy, into physical reinvention. This is alchemy, turning lead into gold, turning suffering into strength. You must view your emotions as tools, not as the truth. Just because you feel afraid does not mean you are in danger. It just means your body is preparing you for a challenge. Just because you feel tired does not mean you must stop. It means you must find a deeper reserve. The 90% let their feelings dictate their actions. I don't feel like it today. Who cares what you feel like? The 10% let their actions dictate their feelings. They do the work, and the feeling of pride follows. You must become the observer of your own mind. Imagine you are sitting in a control room behind your eyes. You see the anger rising on the screen. The 90% smash the console. You look at the screen and say, interesting. High energy detected. Route to the drive sector. This is the ultimate freedom. When you can no longer be manipulated by your own biology, you cannot be manipulated by anyone else. You are untouchable. You are the prince of your own soul. So what happens when you apply these 7 laws? When you see reality naked, when you weaponize silence, when you wear the mask, when you use your enemies, when you master time, when you prioritize your strength, and when you transmute your pain, you do not become a monster, you become a quiet king. You walk into a room and you don't need to be the loudest voice. You don't need to prove anything. You know the game. You see the strings. You see the insecure person bragging, and you feel pity, not envy. You see the manipulator trying to flatter you and you feel amusement, not charm. You see the chaos of the world and you feel calm, not panic. This is what it means to outsmart 90% of people. It isn't about scoring higher on a test. It is about waking up from the trance. Most people are drowning in the storm. You have learned to walk on the water. It is a lonely path. I will not lie to you. The air is thinner up here. The crowd is gone. But the view is worth everything. You have left the herd. You have thrown away the script. You are no longer a character in someone else's story. You are the author. But be careful, because the moment you think you have mastered this is the moment you are most vulnerable. The game never ends. Your ego is waiting for you to get arrogant. It is waiting for you to think you are better than them. And the second you look down on the 90% with contempt instead of understanding, you become them again. You become just another person reacting to their own pride. The true master knows that he is always a student. He is always watching, always learning, always guarding the citadel. The door to the cage is open. You have walked out. Don't walk back in just because you miss the company. Keep walking into the dark, into the deep. That is where the treasure is. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. There are videos I cannot upload for everyone. There are aspects of dark psychology that I simply cannot discuss publicly on YouTube without being censored or demonetized. The algorithm suppresses the most powerful information. Those exist behind the join button. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't. But if you want what's hidden, click the join button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive, uncensored videos that dive into the deepest parts of the human psyche. Most won't. That's the point.